Well, good morning, Codger Biker here, and you join me for a brief spell of city riding. Not a big fan of city riding. I like the countryside and lanes, but we're in a local lockdown at the moment, or at least we're supposed to stay local. So I'm staying local and just going to test out my -5mm link arm. So far, so good, and I've had one or two kicks already off the massive potholes, so definitely seems to do the job. Potholes everywhere. Oh, thank goodness for my steering damper. I can turn on ignition, I can turn it off, but once I put the steering lock on, it traps the key. Can't get the key out. And with my narrow key, let's unlock the fork lock. There we go. And there you go. Unlocked. Out it comes. So the narrow key works. And to remove the Scott's damper, we just take out the two Allen bolts, which I think are 5mm heads. So the bolt's completely loose. We just lift off. And you can see there's the pin, there's the link arm underneath, and there's the beautiful Scott's damper. Morning, Codger Biker here, and will a change of link arm solve my key issue? Let's find out. Okay, so if you didn't see the previous video, then go back and watch it, and you'll find that when I fitted the Scott's damper, which is a brilliant thing, that the link arm stopped the key from being pulled out of the ignition barrel, but only when I put the fork lock on. For insurance purposes in the UK, you have to put your fork lock on. So I'm going to try a different link arm, one that's just a bit shorter. Hopefully then the key will come out. You can see that it's secured by a nut here, which you can undo. I will Loctite it when I put it back on. Just one thing to mention. You'll also see there are 1, 2, 3 holes here. And that is so that you can use the puller, the Scott's link arm puller, to take that off, because these are so finely engineered that when it's tightened on, it actually holds it so tight that it's difficult to get off again without damaging all this surround. And as these things are very expensive, well, and this puller costs only £13, it seemed sensible to get one and do it properly. With a bit of luck, that should hopefully still work, but give me enough clearance to get the key out. Of course, I could have just ground off the end of that, but I wasn't sure whether this would be maybe a bit thicker, and it does look to be a bit broader actually, so maybe not. So possibly you could just grind the end off that. So that would appear to be a 15mm nut on there. So if we unscrew that, we can go on to the next stage. So having loosened that and remove the nut, you can see that the link arm is very tightly fixed on there. It's absolutely solid and held with a pin. So that's why you can't slide this backwards and forwards, because it's just machined so accurately. So to get that off, in theory, we use these 3 bolts here to attach a plate and then screw down hard on that, and it should lift it off squarely. So let's give that a try. Rubber washer presumably holds them on, stop them from falling out. Okay, and presumably if I tighten this, that will start to remove the arm. It is coming off. There you go. Not quite as smooth as I'd expected, but it has come off. So there's the link arm with the puller. Probably should have read the instructions, but it's come off okay without any force, no force whatsoever. Now looking at the two link arms, I had on the photograph, I had thought this looked thicker. I thought they made it stronger because they've got an open-ended fork which could give, whereas this is reinforced with the round part, but looking at it, it looks exactly the same to me. I think they've just, it's even blued as though it's just been cut off. So I think that somebody's just ground that off. Yeah, so for full disclosure, I've never had one of these Scotch dampers before. I'm sure there's people out there laughing who just do it with a screwdriver and a cloth, and I know that's one way it can be done, but just being careful because they're very expensive and I don't want to damage it. So what I'm going to try is so I can press that on to start with. Just enough to get it started. Just enough to get the nut started. Once the nut's on, I'll put it on backwards. Put the nut on backwards to get it started. To begin with, I put the nut on backwards. And hopefully I can start to seat it. Now, if I take that off, that's started it, seating it. Put the nut the proper way around. There you go. And then okay. Gradually it's going on. Do you want to force it too much? When I've done, I'm going to take this back off again, put some blue Loctite on and reapply it. Okay, a little bit of blue Loctite. Put it on the correct way around. Having said that, there are a lot of vibrations on a single cylinder bike, so there's the new arm on. Now, hopefully, that difference will be enough for me to be able to get the key in and out, but that it will still be far enough forward that the pin sits in there and doesn't come out of the end. Sometimes you get something that's just been engineered so well, it's just a lovely thing to have. You can just appreciate it for what it is, and it works well too, but it's just such a beautiful thing. I know there's a Chinese copy, but I decided to go for the original and the best. If you don't know, that's to set how far it is before it releases. When you go left and right, you can adjust those on the side because it actually allows you to release when you get to the extreme, so that if you're going slow and you've got some technical stuff, the handlebars come loose again, because this is an off-road one. And there are two settings, one for the left, one for the right, that you can adjust. So at the moment I've got them at 12 o'clock. We'll see how that goes later. So, I don't know if you can see, but it was fit on the pin quite well. Should be okay. Loctite those bolts in and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so with the new link arm in, everything seems okay. Will the key work? Put in the key. Lock the forks, take out the original key. Job's a good one. So here we are in a city. Oh yes. So to leave my bike, I very much need to leave my steering lock on. Or put my steering lock on. So yeah. Let's give it a try. Morning. So if I wanted to leave my bike in the city, can I lock it with the standard key and take out my key. Yes, I can. You may recognise this place. This is where in days of old you used to catch the Isle of Man ferry, which unfortunately the island's closed at the moment. I think they've moved the dock as well. But old Wolfgang is over there locked. So, locked with the standard key in the city, insured. I've no intention of leaving him there though. Right, let's see if we can get back now and avoid those roadworks. Oh, it's a beautiful day though, look at that. Anyway, everything seems to be working, everything turned out well in the end. Just got to wait for my new wheels and some riding soon. So, Codger Biker is out!